Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pam and today's video is going to be my April wrap-up. So in the month of April, I read 10 books. I'm so happy. So far this year, I've been doing amazingly with my TBRs and my wrap-ups. It's just like, yeah, I've been reading at least 10 books per month, which is really great. But yeah. So the first book that I read is Tout se joue avant 8 heures. This is the French translation of Miracle Morning by Al Elrod. This book is a self-help book and I'm really happy to say that it really helped me. I consider myself to be a night owl before. Like I would always say like, oh no, I'm a night owl. I can't wake up in the morning. But you know, my job makes me wake up in the morning pretty early. I'm an elementary school teacher and school starts at 7:45 in the morning. So yes, I need to get up pretty early. And it was always a struggle for me to get up of the bed every morning. But since I finished that book, I've been waking up every morning at 6 a.m. and I've been so productive and doing so much stuff in the morning. So I really love it. So yeah, I'm really happy that this book changed my life. I just really enjoyed it. So yeah, and I do not rate my nonfiction, so this has no rating. Next, I read A Promised Land by Barack Obama. I listened to the audiobook for that one, and this one was narrated by Barack Obama. So this was an amazing experience. Again, it's another nonfiction, so I'm not gonna rate it, but I really enjoyed it. When I realized that this book is not just about all of his two terms in presidency, it's about the first term. So the first 4 years in his presidency. And there's going to be a second book, a sequel to this, to A Promised Land, which will tackle the second term. So the last 4 years that he was president. Barack Obama is just a love bean. I just love him so much. I really love Michelle too. I think I prefer Becoming by Michelle Obama more than I liked A Promised Land, just because I feel like Becoming was more personal and more about Michelle, and this one was more about the policies and how he became a governor and also how he became president, like, you know, his campaign and stuff, which was so interesting and so cool. I really love politics. It's really something that always fascinated me. When I was in school, in college, I took some politics class, and I love those classes. So yeah, I'm really excited for the sequel. I quite enjoyed it, and you know, him narrating his book is just felt like listening to a podcast, which was just amazing. So loved it. Next, I finished my reread of Legend by Mary Lou. I give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. It's a pretty high 4-star, almost a 5-star. I loved it. I really loved it. I really love my reread of it. The last time that I read that book, I think it was in 2015. Yeah, I think it was in 2015, which it's been a while. Okay, it's been a while, you know, it's been 6 years. So I absolutely love my reread of it. I really love the two main characters. I was shocked of some elements to it. It's still so good. Even though it's been out for so long, and still a really good dystopian. I really love dystopian in general, so this one is really good. I can't wait to read Prodigy, the second one. It's over there. I can't wait to reread it, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Next, I read Every Vow You Break by Peter Swanson, and this one I gave a 3 out of 5 star. 3 is really not bad. Why I give it a low rating is really because of the last part of it, like the last third of it. The first 2/3 were really good. I was so stressed. I was so anxious for the main character. I was just feeling really uncomfortable. Just something was wrong and I didn't like it. But you know, it was good. It was really well written. Basically, this is the story of what's her name, Abigail, and she's on her honeymoon with her new husband on this island where basically it's an island where you get cut off of all technology, so you can really like enjoy this retreat. And in this retreat, it's mostly men that are there. There are not a lot of women. I think there's like 3 or 4 women, and yeah, I had this uneasy feeling because of that. It was really gaslighting a lot, so much gaslighting in this, which I hate. And basically, Abigail on her bachelor party, she had a one-night stand with a stranger, and this stranger happens to be on this island. I don't want to spoil anything, but like really the ending was so rushed and had no purpose and was confusing and was not explained, and it was just like, where this come from? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I would have been fine if the author gave clues or hints of like this ending, but there were none. Well, I didn't find any clues that or hints that could help me figure out like this could be the ending. Like, no, at all. And so yeah, so the ending was disappointing. I think it's like, it's always my main issues with thrillers. It's always the ending, and this one was not new. The ending was really what brought this rating so low. So I'm still gonna read other Peter Swanson. I really want to read The Kind Worth Killing. I think it's everyone's favorite Peter Swanson's book, so I really want to read it. The only thing I want to add is that a male author writing about a female author that's been gaslight for the entirety of the book, or like a lot in the book, it is just doesn't sit well with me. It just doesn't. Like, as a male, white, cis male author, you don't know what it's like to be a female surrounded by male who are gaslighting her all the time. You just don't know. So yeah, didn't sit well with me for that part. So it's a pretty low 3. Like, it's almost a 2, just to tell you. But yeah, I read that. Hi. So I've been editing this video, and I decided that I will lower my rating. Listening to myself talking, I was like, why did I give this book a 3 star? Like, it doesn't deserve to be a 3 star. So it's going to be a 2. It's going to be a 2. And that's it. So let's go back to the wrap up. Next, I read A Memory Called Empire by Arcady Martin. This is a space opera epic fantasy science fiction book. I really enjoyed it. I give it a 4 star. It was a good book. I listened to the audiobook, and sometimes it was a bit confusing, I would be honest with you, but I will go back physically. I will go back to the book, like physically reading it, and I would be fine. It's a really, really heavy political book for like a sci-fi, and I love it. I love politics in fantasy and sci-fi, so I really, really love that. The intrigue was really great. It was really good. I'm really excited for the sequel. It's a duology, and the sequel just came out like in the beginning of this year, or like at the end of last year. So I'm really, really excited to get my hands on the second book and to read it, because I really enjoyed this. Next, I read Miracle Creek by N.G. Kim, and I loved it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's almost a 5. This is a courtroom thriller, and because of this, I want to read more courtroom thrillers. I really, really enjoyed it. So basically, we're following this legal case of a miracle submarine that killed 2 people. So a miracle submarine is like a medical advance experimental thing, and there was an explosion and 2 people died. So a young autistic kid, and a parent, an adult. And there's this legal case, and basically they're accusing the mother of the young autistic kid that died to be responsible for the explosion. It was caused by a cigarette. It was not a accident. It was intentionally or accidentally lit up. But yeah, so it was so good. And basically the owners of the Miracle Submarine are a Korean family that came to the United States a couple of years earlier, and they have a younger daughter. And basically we're following a bunch of characters, and they all seem so suspicious. And they all could have done it, which is crazy. I listened to the audiobook for that one. I really enjoyed it. It was a good audiobook. And until the very end, I couldn't point out who was the killer, who was responsible for this crime. Like, everyone is so suspicious. Everyone has a good reason for this Miracle Submarine to explode, and it's crazy. None of the characters are likable. Yeah, they're just awful characters. Really, which I loved. I really loved it. So really enjoyed it. Next, I read Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. This is the second book in the Witchland series, and I absolutely love Truth Witch, which is the first book. I loved it. Wind Witch was more a 4 than a 5, as Truth Witch was. It was good. I was just bored at sometimes. And I think this book totally has the second book syndrome thing, which is basically like we're setting everything in anticipation of the third book or the fourth book. So it's really like more setting things. There's like 5 point of view in this, which is a lot, but I enjoyed them. I just wish I had more time with some characters and less time with others. And I really don't like pirates, okay? And this one we have more pirates, and I just don't like it in books. So that was a reason why this is a 4 out of 5. But I enjoyed it. I still thought it was pretty good, and I am going to continue on with the series for sure. Next, I reread I'll Give You the Sun by Jane D. Nelson, which I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. Oh my god. I didn't remember anything of this. Well, not true. I remember some part of it, but this was so good. Oh my god. It was so good. I loved it. I think even more the second time around, which is something, but yeah, this is beautifully written, and those characters are just amazing, and they're so well written, and they're so fleshed out, and oh my god, I love them. I love that book. Okay, it's one of my favorite contemporary of all time. It's so good. We're following twins in 2 different timelines. First, we're following the boy when they are 13 and they're still talking. They have a good relationship. Everything's great. And then we're following the girl when they are 16 and not talking anymore. And basically we're trying to figure out like why they're not talking, and it's a coming of age story, and it's just beautiful, and there's art involved in it. It is just it's so good. So good. So if you haven't read I'll Give You the Sun by Jane D. Nelson, please read it. Okay, it's so good. It's worth the hype. It's so good. Next, I read A Thousand Beginnings and Endings by it's 15 retellings of Asian myths and legend, and it's edited by Helen Ho and Elsie Chapman. And I give this one a 4 out of 5 star. This confirmed to me that fictional short story collection anthologies are something that I could like. Yeah. So I wasn't sure because in the past I've picked another fiction anthologies and I DNF'd it. And I was like, okay, this is not for me. I really love taking my time with characters and the story. And no, it's not that, okay? Because there's one story in this called Olivia's Table, and it's by Alyssa Wong. It was my favorite of this anthology. I absolutely loved it. It was a 5 out of 5 star. The other one were either 4 or 3 stars. So overall it's a 4 stars, but I really, really enjoyed it. I really did. Yeah, I could see myself rereading this in the future. So yeah, it was really good. There's a bunch of mythologies. So good. I love mythology, so maybe that's was one of the reason why I enjoyed this as much. But I really, really, really loved it. And finally, the last book that I finished in April is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. I give this one a 4 out of 5 star. I really enjoyed it. This book really gets me excited for the second book, Crown of Midnight, that I'm gonna read in May. I'm so excited. So yeah. There's 5 stories in this. We're following Selena before she was in prison in the salt mines in Dover, whatever. Basically, we're following her as an assassin in the Assassins Guild, and I loved it. And we're introduced to Sam, my precious. I just love him so much. And if you want to hear more thoughts on this book and also on A Thousand Beginnings and Endings, I have a reading vlog that is coming out, I think, after this. Basically, they were part of my April reading challenge, which was to read short story collections or anthologies. So if you want to hear more on it, go check it out. But yeah, it was really good. I'm so excited for Crown of Midnight now. I'm really pumped. So this is it, guys. This is my April wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments which book in April is a new fave of you, as I would like to know, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!